Welcome back everyone to Torchlight Infinite. I'm Andre, aka Goriel, the community manager at XT. Today, I'm super excited to show you guys the SS5 Clockwork Ballet season preview. A new season exclusive game mode, a new hero trait, new legendaries, a massive overhaul to crafting and legendaries, and so much more. So without further ado, let's get into it. First up, let's dive into the new season itself, Clockwork Ballet. This season introduces a fascinating new NPC, Alice 451, the headmistress of the enigmatic Clockwork Club. Alice brings her club's whimsical and mechanical services to the Nether Realm. After entering each Nether Realm stage, players can choose one of the unique services offered by Alice. Once you make your choice, the real fun begins. Your task is to find the gears scattered across the map within a limited time. Now, don't overthink it. Simply approach the gears to activate them automatically, and defeat all the Clockwork puppets guarding them to obtain gear coupons inside. As you defeat the puppets and collect coupons, your membership challenge rating for that match will increase. After the challenge concludes, the obtained gear coupons will be exchanged to determine your base rewards for the round. But wait, that's not all. You can earn up to 9 challenge ratings, ranging from F to Triple S, depending on your exceptional skills and a bit of luck. Remember, higher challenge ratings also mean increased combat difficulty. If you find the challenge too tough, you can end it early without losing any rewards you've already earned. Now, we encourage you to be creative and flexible with the game rules. Normal mobs on the NetherRealm map will spawn as usual, and defeating them can extend your challenge time. Now, does that ring any bells? That's right. The Clockwork challenges can be combined with other game mechanics like God of War, Compass, Confusion cards, and more, providing endless possibilities to mix and match how you tackle each map. Lastly, the Clockwork Club has special offerings for veteran members. When selecting the club services, lucky members might encounter a blowout sale. By choosing this service and completing the corresponding challenge, you can enter the club stash for an exciting and bountiful gear harvest. As long as the timer hasn't run out, you can claim all the gears in the stash. But of course, patrons are rewarded for your loyalty to the Clockwork Club. As you take on more challenges, you will receive additional perks, which can offer even more depth and fun to your mapping strategy. Let's highlight 3 options. The first option is for players focused on the Clockwork Ballet challenges themselves. You can accumulate gear coupons from a specific challenge and put them into the club prize pool at the end of the round. Doing so will not only raise your current challenge rating by 1 level, but also grant you with higher multiplier rewards. The second option is for members who wish to combine Clockwork Ballet gameplay with other game mechanics. For season talents, you can obtain global buffs that enhance your overall gameplay experience. Again, these are global buffs. The third option is for seasoned players who have already mastered this season's mechanic. You can decrease each round's challenge time limit, increasing the difficulty but also unlocking access to even higher rewards. When players are experienced and powerful enough, they can enjoy all of these perks simultaneously. And last but not least, this season's ultimate endgame boss, the Silverwing Danseuse. To face the Clockwork Club's big honcho, you must first reach at least time mark 8, and then unlock the corresponding Clockwork Ballet talent node. After doing so, there's a chance that a portal to the boss will appear. Now, I really can't wait to see how fast this season's first clear is gonna be, and also stay tuned for some brand new speedrun events coming this season. This season, Carino is making his return as the Zealot of War. When all hope of revenge is lost and the bullets in his gun turn from the judgment of justice to the venting of pain, Carino falls from being a noble ranger upholding justice to a restless Zealot of War. Zealot of War Carino can actively switch combat modes to adapt to different battle scenarios. When facing countless mobs, he adopts mobility mode to move agilely and effortlessly around the battlefield. When dealing with stronger foes, he switches to Annihilation mode, pouring all the bullets in his chamber towards the target. If the Zealot of War activates his hero trait Blank Shots, he can continue shooting even after running out of ammo, providing powerful and lasting firepower coverage. However, this massive damage comes with a downside. When the machine gun overheats, it enters a lengthy cooldown. To counter this, the Zealot of War's traits offer various tactical options. You can cool the machine gun for rapid movement or utilize the overheated muzzle to enter Burning Red mode, making his damage output even more terrifying. Moreover, memory and relics provide even more possibilities for the Zealot of War. With his versatile combat modes and strategic options, Carino, the Zealot of War, is ready to take on the Clockwork Ballet's toughest challenges. Also, don't forget, you can unlock all of our heroes with a Season Pass. Now, of course, a new season could never be complete without its own set of unique legendaries. Now we're gonna be going over some of the most unique and special ones. First up is a pair of boots called Heels of Hands. These boots can automatically trigger Empower and defensive skills under different circumstances, saving you valuable skill slots. Next, we have a pair of rings, Passing of Time and Time of Vow. These rings have stats that complement each other and require multiple ailments and crowd control effects to reach their full potential. But just one quick word of caution. Do not get greedy. When used together, they might be too much to handle, so be strategic in how you combine them. Now, of course, for details on all the other legendaries, do remember to check out the full patch notes, which are going to be posted on our official website. As we continue to bring new content every season, we're also working hard on enhancing our existing systems. Reflecting on the past few months, the fog enveloping Mistville has gradually lifted, revealing new challenges and opportunities. But don't worry, you can still find Wally, the Mistville trader, who has now settled in Ember's Rest. He'll guide you back to Mistville to take on the Whispering Mists game mode. We've also made some exciting changes to Mistville entry tokens, adjusting their spawn and consumption rates to give you more flexibility in deciding whether to venture into Mistville or explore other gameplay options. In the upcoming season, the untradeable entry tokens known as Infection Progress will be replaced with Resident Size, and their drop rates will increase with the right Netherrealm talent strategies. Plus, Mistville residents will now appear directly on Netherrealm maps, so no more clicking portals to summon them, just dive right into the action. We've also made it easier to explore Mistville. The deduction record is crucial, so we've reduced the Mistville intel needed for each talent node. We've also lowered the prerequisites for the 3rd and 4th tiers of talents, helping you become a top-notch Mistville detective faster. And speaking of drops, we've tweaked the drop rates and effects of activation mediums. When tackling Whispering Mist, chests number 9 and 15 will always drop an activation medium, and chests 11 and 13 will also have a 50% chance to do so. This season was a special one, because we've been paying super special attention to your feedback. The support skill preparation available in the skill shop will no longer have negative effects. We've also adjusted activation medium values, removing the less useful T3 affixes and improving bonuses, like cooldown recovery speed and skill effect duration. And for all you spell burst enthusiasts, we've got great news. We're introducing a new activation medium, Burst Activation. This will trigger the support spell skill and activate its spell burst when your charge reaches its upper limit. Burst mages can now enjoy self-sustaining gameplay too. After introducing all of these new mechanics, we of course had to undergo some balancing adjustments. So first, let's go over hero balancing. To further differentiate her playstyle and hero traits, Lightbringer Rosa will now deal damage to herself when her hero trait is activated. Commander Motto has been buffed, with the extra minion damage buff provided by each point of dominance value increasing from 2 to 3%. We've also made some adjustments to skills, mostly focused on casting and improving the overall mapping experience. For example, Flame Path no longer forces forward movement and will not charge forward when the channeling ends. Inexhaustible Barrage will no longer require manual target selection. It will automatically attack the enemy with the highest rarity within a certain range, and will automatically select the target with each wave. Howling Gale will now continue to lock onto enemies within a certain range, and move towards them even after channeling ends. Additionally, since curse skills are quite popular in the current meta, we have added a new skill called Shackles of Malice, that gains buffs by nurturing the number of curses. And finally, let's talk about gear balancing. So in terms of survival, we found that after some adjustments that we made during the Whispering Mist season, some players found it a little bit more difficult to acquire resistances in the early and mid game. As a result, we have increased the values of T2 and below resistance affixes on equipment. And elemental resistance auras will once again provide elemental resistance. Going back to player feedback, this season we've made massive changes to the crafting system. Our main goal this season was to make crafting feel more rewarding and less like a frustrating gamble. First up, Divinity Slates. In past seasons, Divinity Slates were a cornerstone of any build. While they offered numerous possibilities, the randomness of branding slates often made the crafting experience less enjoyable. This season, our main goal was to make Divinity Slates feel clearer and more rewarding. To achieve this, we've made several key changes. Now, Divinity Slates will feature a certain number of Divinity slots, which determine the number of talents they can hold. Divinity slots come in magic, rare, and legendary qualities, representing the highest quality of talents that can be branded. This allows hunters to add or upgrade existing talent nodes and designated slots. The inclusion of slots will also change how Divinity slates are valued. For example, a slate with 3 legendary slots will of course be more valuable than a slate with 2 slots. We've also redesigned the rules for branding Divinity slates. First, there's no longer a limit to branding attempts. Second, micro talent nodes and medium talent nodes can be replaced at limited times. Additionally, legendary medium talent nodes and new god talent nodes can be restored to their pre-branding state by using a unifying wedge. However, the consumption of unifying wedges will increase with each restoration attempt. To further reduce the randomness of branding, we've introduced a brand new branding material called Divinity Pack. Divinity Packs ensure that branded talents come from a designated talent panel, allowing hunters to reach their goal endgame slates as soon as possible. Finally, hunters can use branding materials at the Heart of Rapacity to purchase Divinity slates with at least 1 legendary medium talent node. We've also added a bulk purchase feature to make it more convenient for everyone to obtain Divinity slate-based materials. If the changes to the Divinity slate system have got you excited, just wait to see what we have done to the Legendary gear system. Legendary gear and crafted gear have of course always had their balances and trade-offs in ARPGs. This season we're effectively bridging the gap between both of them to create an even more balanced and engaged gameplay experience. The core fun of Legendary gear lies in its unique mechanics and the fun of obtaining rare items. So we've structured the Legendary gear system. Now, most Legendary gear will retain only their unique legendary affixes when dropped. For example, the Supreme Throne, a legendary one-handed wand, will feature just its 2 legendary throne-related affixes. But that's not all. Many legendary items will also come with random crafted affixes. These can be added or modified through crafting, such as re-rolling with prototype crafting, upgrading tiers, or adding specific affixes. The number of crafted affixes a legendary item can have will depend on its legendary aptitude or star rating. For instance, a 3-star Supreme Throne will have 3 random crafted affixes in addition to its legendary ones. To help players start building interesting setups earlier, we're significantly increasing the drop rates of legendary gear with 2 or fewer legendary aptitudes. These items, however, will not be tradable. Legendary affixes can create wild combinations for endgame builds, while random affixes can fill gaps in damage and survivability. By combining both, players can potentially replace all 10 pieces of their gear with legendary items. However, upgrading a crafted affix to a T0 tier may reduce the gear's star number, limiting its affix capacity. Players should weigh their options carefully. Also, to ensure players can participate in crafting without needing the perfect legendary base, we're introducing the Aptitude Inheritance feature. Players with 2 legendary pieces of the same name and legendary aptitudes can transfer random affixes from one to the other. This way, your hard-earned affixes are preserved, and you can seamlessly upgrade to higher roll base gear later. The inheritance access needed for this feature will be available through this season's gameplay. Lastly, the Legendary Vision event will launch with a new season. In this event, players can choose their desired legendary gear and increase its drop rates. After the introduction of crafting for legendary gear, the positioning for corrosion has kinda changed a little bit as well. We understand the frustration of losing your crafting investment due to one single failed corrosion attempt. Therefore, we've made significant adjustments to the corrosion function. Legendary gear can now use the Aptitude Inheritance feature to retain carefully matched random affixes. We hope that this season's brand new legendary gear system will satisfy players' cravings for even more diversity and freedom. And now, of course, while addressing the issues between legendary gear and crafted gear, we had to make some adjustments to the drops of rare gear. In our previous season, we significantly increased the probability of drops with multiple T1 affixes. However, these high base values often pose challenges in finding an effective reference point in the market. For this reason, this new season, we have limited the number of T1 or T0 affixes to 1 per dropped gear. Additionally, to increase the value of rare gear bases, the upcoming level 100 priceless tier gear will be guaranteed to have a T0 affix when dropped. We hope these changes will not only make drops more appealing, but also address some of the challenges with identifying gear. While optimizing crafting, we actually kinda realized that our new systems and mechanics made some of the older systems in Dream Interpretation feel kinda redundant right now. So we've also made some changes to the interpretation system. We have removed the legendary affix dreams from the Dream Interpretation system and replaced them with a large number of high-intensity base affixes from dreams. Additionally, we've increased the interpretation limit of gear from 3 times to 6 times. This means players can still obtain significant improvements by interpreting dreams to craft their gear, ensuring that the dream interpretation remains both exciting and rewarding. But wait, if you thought the legendary system was our last massive overhaul this season, we're just getting started. This season, we've completely removed the Netherrealm's trade cards and replaced them with a brand new talent system, the Void Chart. This new talent system is designed to provide you with a richer, more stable farming experience. Let's dive deeper into it, shall we? The Void Chart features around 20 talent constellations, each with its own unique theme and independent talent tree. These themes include seasonal game modes, the 6 gods, and item drop enhancements. By completing confusion cards, challenging plane watchers, and facing travelers, you can gradually unlock talent constellations and earn star talents. These talent nodes offer a variety of effects, transforming your experience in NetherRealm stages and significantly boosting your drops. Let's get into some practical examples. In the Goddess of Hunting talent constellation, there's a talent that gives bosses a chance to receive a powerful buff, making them extremely rewarding to defeat. In the God of Might talent constellation, you can unlock a talent that randomly spawns powerful dwarven automations in the God of Might gameplay, wielding huge rewards when defeated. In the God of Machines talent constellation, there's a talent that allows the God of Machines to launch an additional wave of attacks. Now, let's talk about the season-exclusive gameplay themes. In the Black Sail talent constellation, there's a talent that gives bosses a chance to drop a special Void Sea Flame, guaranteeing a legendary hero memory drop after defeating a Void pirate in the stage. In the Dark Surge talent constellation, one talent greatly increases the drop of ultimate legendary gear in the Dark Surge gameplay, while another allows a drop ultimate legendary gear to undergo Darkest Corrosion. Additionally, after defeating the End of Confusion Traveler at time mark 8, you can obtain Prime Star talent, which can be used to unlock even more powerful talent nodes in the Profound talent constellation. If you want to experiment with different strategies, you can use the Winding Key to redistribute your talent allocations in the Void chart. To make switching between different talent setups easier, we've also prepared several additional talent plan pages for hunters. Veteran players have mastered all of Torchlight's gameplay mechanics, and they know the thrills of exploiting them, or maybe even abusing them to juice the game. However, to newer players who drop several seasons into the game, this might not be immediately apparent. That is why our talent layout in the Void chart now includes a one-click recommendation feature. It's never been easier to share your strategies and learn from others. We love seeing our community buzzing with excitement, discussions, and sharing tips. Veteran players can experiment with new tactics, while newer players can follow in their footsteps. Dive into the game, share your insights, and discover new ways to conquer challenges. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our new feature ensures that everyone can enjoy the thrill of the hunt. Next up, Deep Space. So when we originally designed Deep Space, its original intention was to ramp up the rewards for top-tier farming strategies and kinda enrich the endgame experience. However, after observing several seasons, we found that Deep Space also increased the burden of farming for players. The pricing of Deep Space beacons and popular compasses often rises with increased rewards from Deep Space, which actually kinda discourages players from entering Deep Space. So, we've decided to abandon Deep Space altogether and instead spread the endgame difficulty and rewards via the Void chart and compasses. With this shift, we've enriched a variety of compasses, keeping the basic ones and adding many advanced versions. For example, followers of each God of Might now have a chance to turn into a super dwarven automaton, or you'll encounter extra groups of normal monsters after defeating rare ones in stages. Additionally, we've removed the compass shop from the trader. Now, players can directly recycle unused or low-value compasses in their inventory. Each recycled compass will be exchanged for one uncertain voyage, and 3 uncertain voyages can be traded for a random compass. This season, we hope that by removing Deep Space and adjusting compasses, the in-game experience will be much more fun and rewarding. We've also made several improvements to the transition from mid-game to endgame. First, we've significantly streamlined the early stages of the NetherRealm. Players now only need to complete each Plane Watcher once, in progressive order, to unlock Time Mark 7. Each plane will only feature one time mark. For example, Glacial Abyss will only have Time Mark 1, while Blistering Lava Sea will only have Time Mark 2, and so on. No more grinding for multiple time marks for each plane. Instead, you will unlock the following time mark by clearing each plane. These changes should not only streamline your journey through the NetherRealm, but also make it less repetitive. In addition to streamlining time marks, we've also optimized the core NetherRealm experience. We've also placed portals next to the elevators on the map, so you don't have to wait for the animations to finish. This means less downtime and more action. Adjustments have also been made to the elites. We've reduced their life values, lowered their overall spawn rates, and adjusted the proportion of rare monsters at different difficulty levels. Furthermore, now only certain rare elites can release Plane Watcher's affix skills. Additionally, we've reduced the appearance frequency of Netherrealm map affixes. This gives players a clear view in battle and helps you better assess the battlefield situation. The next exciting mechanic we're introducing this season is the skill stats system. This mechanic is designed to provide a smoother, more fluid transition from mid-game to the endgame. It allows you to strengthen the primary stats of skills that deal damage. Primary stats refer to strength, dexterity, intelligence, and any possible combination of these attributes. By increasing these stats, you can ensure a more stable growth of damage output from mid-game to endgame, enhancing your overall game experience. For each point spent in a primary stat, you can grant an additional 0.5% damage to the skill itself or to summon minions. If a skill has multiple primary stats, the different stats are calculated cumulatively before the final bonus is applied. With this change, we aim to enhance the strategic elements of skill combinations, providing a wider scope for differentiated builds across players and different heroes. Ever since our first launch, we've been working really hard to meet our players' quality expectations. Of course, we had some difficulties along the way, but this season we've really doubled down on player feedback to add a ton of quality of life optimizations. This season's optimizations range from PC UI, streamlining menus, control schemes, and so much more. First, we've optimized the covet function in the cube gameplay. Now, items can be bulk coveted without the need for manual multiple clicks. We've also adjusted the acquisition method for Pages of Eterna, and they can now be traded. Additionally, we've adjusted the level for free talent node resets. It is now gifted at level 90 to be in accordance with the last hero trait. You also no longer need to use the Elixir of Oblivion for levels below 90. We've also optimized the trade house interface. When listing an item, the system will automatically find an available slot within the booth page. If you want to adjust the price of an item, you can directly modify its price with the booth. We've improved the inventory system. When you open your backpack, it will automatically focus on newly acquired items. The unlock function now supports multiple items at once. We've enhanced our auto loot function, ensuring now that no items are missed. We've optimized the status icon display. You can now choose whether to show both icons in the status bar through the settings menu. We've also refined the graphic settings for special effect brightness. We've also made some improvements to our Season Pass. The Golden Season Pass now includes an automatic pack spirit switching system. When you enter maps, start certain game modes or challenge bosses, this system will automatically switch your preset pack spirit scheme, ensuring you do not waste valuable map materials. Plus, when entering the Ruins of Eterna, it will switch to the Monument Knight's pack spirit scheme for extra rewards. We've also increased the number of pack spirit scheme pages from 3 to 6, and added new Void Shard talent scheme pages for efficient farming. The Season Pass also unlocks a series of new cosmetics, such as back accessories and portal skins. This season we also have a ton of new events, new cosmetics, and so much more coming our way. Let's take a quick look at them. New season, new gameplay mechanic, new hero trait, new legendaries, massive crafting overhaul, the void shard, the new skill set system, quality of life updates, and so much more. Clockwork Ballet is right around the corner, coming July 4. This season has been one of our most massive efforts so far, and we can't wait for you to experience all it has to offer. Now, of course, if you want even more details, stay tuned for the final patch notes. They're gonna be going live on our official website. That's all for today, and we'll catch you all in the next one.